Welcome to the Greater Fort Walton Beach Chamber of Commerce Business Forum. I'm your host, Nick Chubb, owner of Cabinets R Us and the 2018 Chairman of the Board. Our guest this morning is Jennifer Adams with the Convention and Visitors Bureau. Welcome, Jennifer.
Thank you for having me.
Since you are still a relatively newcomer to the area, tell us about how you've settled in and what your first impressions are now that you've really got your feet on the ground.
Yeah, I'm coming up on a year being in this position, so it's exciting. I've been in and out of the area since the early 1990s in Walton and Gulf and Okaloosa County, and I'm really glad to be back here and in this position. We have lots of great work to do. It's a wonderful destination that just needs to be brought back up to the position where it should be. It's a premier vacation destination, and we need to get back to that point.
And you've already made strides in that area.
We're trying. We really had a blank slate. So coming in September and really taking the first few months to look at the organization as a whole, look at the marketing, look at the strategies, if there were any. And so decided that we're going to start from scratch. Have a wonderful Tourist Development Council. So that's the TDC. So let me back up a second. There's some confusion. The TDC is the Tourist Development Council. Those are my 9 members who volunteer their time to be an advisory council for me and the organization. The TDD is the Tourist Development Department. We are county employees. So as a department within the county, that's how we're referred. Out in the marketing realm, we are the Emerald Coast Convention and Visitors Bureau. So that includes the administration, the visitor services, the film commissioners under there, as well as the convention center. So I try to stick with CVB because that's really industry-wide how we are known. But being a county employee, that's for the Tourist Development Department. So.
Right, and it is a little confusing. I know we tried to make that transition, or you tried to initiate the transition, and I think more people are getting accustomed to saying CVB.
I think they are. I think now that they know, and it also helps me bring the convention center back up to light because it really sort of got lost in there in tourist development.
And speaking of the convention center, can you talk to any plans for the convention center, both growth or how to attract new business?
Sure. So we just hired a new general manager, Melissa Reed, and she just started in May. She's great knowledge, and her skill set is that she's has experience in food and beverage, in events, and in sales and operations. So she has all of the
good, well-rounded package.
Absolutely. And it took us a while to find the right person, but I knew that we needed to find the right fit for the convention center. The convention center is a beautiful facility. It's 15 years old and it needs some upgrades. So we have a list of capital improvements, and Melissa is really going through all procedures and all of the guidelines that we have and bringing them up to date. There's a new we do things different now than we did in 2003. So it's nice to have a clean perspective. And we're going to really be targeting different types of meetings. The convention center has kind of morphed itself into an upgraded civic center, and it's not. It's a convention center. We have great food, great services, and great meeting space, and we need to get the meetings in there that fit our brand and that can help elevate that. It's the only convention center between, Pensacola and Tallahassee.
Right.
So it should be operating at a higher capacity, and we need to get it there.
And of course, the hoteliers will greatly appreciate some increased traffic spun off from bringing new meetings in. So hopefully get that on board and see some progress in that arena and make a lot of folks happy.
Yeah, I think so. And I'm approaching the convention center. It's a part of our destination. It's not just a building where you can hold a meeting. So I think with that and bringing in the experiences of all you can do in addition to having a meeting will help get it to that level. The brand in itself has really become a commodity. So there's 2 types of brands. There's the commodity brand that's based on price, and there's the luxury brand that's based on emotional connection. As a destination, we have not done a good job at storytelling. We have not done a good job at being, true to who we are and who we want to come visit. Our mission statement, we just wrote our mission statement, and our focus is really to manage tourism in the destination and balance it with the local quality of life.
And that's important.
It is. I mean, I live here, you live here, and we have people who come and live here for a week or a month or 3 months, however, but we need to make sure that we're managing that across all of our platforms.
Great. One of the things that's popped up in the media lately has been public safety. There have been some issues out there that have, hit the media. Can you talk to us about what the position of CVB is with that?
Yeah, so a few years ago, the legislation was changed. So there are 3 counties, Bay, Okaloosa, and Walton, could allocate up to 10% for public safety and lifeguard programs, and we do that. We also this year put an in-market public safety messaging campaign, Know Before You Go, directing people to our website to have them learn more about the flag system, beach safety, public safety, leave no trace, and we've been getting a lot of good feedback from that. There are a lot of people on the beaches. In fact, yesterday at my TDC meeting, the council voted to add 3 more lifeguards through season. Now that Noriega Point is finished, we'll need one there. Destin needs another one, and the island needs another one. So we hope to see a broader picture next year by putting some ambassadors on the beach. We need to have some pole markers so people, if they're in distress, and they can identify a pole number. If
like
they had,
a mile marker.
Absolutely. Just for, there's a lot of people on the beach, and if you walk and you get disoriented or someone gets hurt, they can be logged into the 911 system, and then it just makes it easier. So I'll be working with both the Okaloosa Fire District and the Destin City Fire District in how we shape that and how we can help let them focus on the safety, and we can focus on the education next year.
Well, before we went on air, you and I were chatting about some things, and we talked about how this season compares to last season and the attempts to spread the condensed peak season out over the shoulder season.
Yeah, so we have summer, and really now summer's June and July because of school start,
right,
and where Labor Day falls. But so our focus is on what I call prime season, basically August through May, September, August through May. And then we have summer. So I've been hearing from some of my partners that June is doing very well, and July is already pacing ahead of last year. May, because of the storm at the end of the month,
right,
Alberto, wasn't as high as people expected, but it wasn't as low as people thought it would be, knowing that what the weather was. So knowing that we just have just as many units in December that we do in July, we're shifting that focus. Already, our March was up over 30%. So we're going to try and keep that and spread that out. One of my goals is an increase of tourist development tax revenues in prime season by 10%. And that doesn't mean more people necessarily. It means spreading them out where they come and having them do more, spend more, and invest more, in our charters, in our shopping, in our restaurant, and in our lodging.
Very good. Well, Jennifer, our time's about up, so I thank you very much for taking the time out of your busy day to come in and sit with us. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back with our next guest. Welcome back to the Greater Fort Walton Beach Area Chamber of Commerce Business Forum. I'm Nick Chubb, owner of Cabinets R Us and your 2018 Chair of the Board. Our second guest is Donna Tashik of the Arc of the Emerald Coast. Welcome, Donna. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having us. I'm so excited to be here.
Well, as we normally start off with, I think everybody in this Okaloosa County and probably 3-county area know you, but let's go ahead and give them some background.
I don't know about that, but we're working on it. I hope they know the Arc of the Emerald Coast. Anyway, I'm the Director of Community Development for the Arc of the Emerald Coast. We provide services in Walton, Okaloosa, and Santa Rosa County to a little over 450 individuals with intellectual disabilities, Down syndrome, cerebral palsy, and autism. We have a wide variety of services. We're always busy. We're always fundraising. It's a daunting task, but it's one we love very much.
Well, and how long have you been with the ARC?
I have been with the ARC 8.5 years. I started off as an event person for them and was promoted almost 3 years ago to Director of Development.
Very good. And one of your fundraisers was just recently held in the heat of the summer.
Oh, yes, it was. We have in our Milton facilities in Santa Rosa County, we have about 4 acres of blueberries, and it was our annual Blueberry Bash, and I'm happy to say, although it was hot, everybody had a good time, and all the blueberries got picked, and it's a great little event.
Awesome. Now you have a small event that's been going on for a year or two. That's coming up in August.
Yeah, that's a small event. That's one of my other hats. I'm actually very honored to be the president of the Emerald Coast Foundation, which the ARC is one of the 4 recipient charities. This event provides to children in crisis, the Eleanor Johnson Youth Center, and the All Sports Foundation. And we provide, we've raised over $2 million, and this is our 26th year of the big one, the Poker Run. It is Boat Week, August the 8th through 13th. It actually starts on a Wednesday. We bring boaters in with power boats. We also invite family-sized boats. We try to have a little something for everybody. It is an amazing event and so well supported by the entire community.
Wow, it's a lot of fun. I've been involved with it several years, ran safety boats for a couple years. But one of the changes you all tried to initiate recently is trying to get more of the local participation. Tell us a little bit about that.
Absolutely. You know, I guess about 15 years ago, we had a lot of power boaters coming in, and I think the smaller local families started thinking it was just a power boat event. And so 3 years ago, we bring everybody back. We want boaters of all kinds. We spend hours and hours with the Marine Patrol and the Coast Guard figuring out how to make it a safe event for everyone. And so this year we've totally revamped. It's a $295 cost for all boats. There was a discrepancy. There used to be one price for power boats, one for family boats. Everybody gets the same thing. Thanks to the IP Casino, this value, you make it up with just one of the perks, which is a free weekend at the IP Casino and Resort in Biloxi. So everybody who enters gets that, along with 2 tickets to all of the events, along with the famous Poker Run cooler. I wish I'd have brought one, but it's a soft-sided bag cooler that has become famous or infamous. But it's a lot of fun, and again, it's for a great cause. We give away this year, the prizes are a Harley Davidson from Emerald Coast Harley Davidson is first prize. Second prize is, he hasn't decided yet if it's going to be a spider bike or if it's going to be a jet ski, but from Cole at KMN Sports. Anyhow, so we're going to give away 2 prizes and it's one big poker table is where it all ends up. Anyhow, just a lot of fun, and that party is exciting. Even if you're not involved in the Poker Run, from one of the 4 charities, you can purchase tickets to that event, which is all you can eat, all you can drink, and you can do some gaming that night.
So it's an opportunity for those that don't own a boat to still participate in all the activities and the parties.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Well as
the party, the
charities.
Saturday night party, they can purchase that. If you don't own a boat, I would tell you to find a friend that does, because you can do an add-on package where you can get a hand, you can have everything just like they do. It's tax deductible. You go to a party, Wednesday night, our good friends at AJ's on the Bayou start off with a kickoff party. Thursday night, our other good friends at the Block, they host the Miss Boat Week bikini contest. On Friday night, we have Rockin' the Docks at AJ's Destined. Alan Laird is a huge supporter of this event and one of the founders 26 years ago. Him and John Reinhold and a boat on Noriega is the story I hear. But 26 years later, we've got a couple hundred boats coming. But then on Saturday, of course, is the poker run. And it goes from 10 to 4, and everybody gathers back at the Emerald Coast Convention Center on Saturday night to play your poker hand, to get a shot at those prizes. It's just amazing. We have stilt walkers. We make it a carnival atmosphere going on in there. And we also have a great silent auction. So again, this one event raises money that these 4 charities count on every year. It's an all-volunteer organization made up of our community leaders, and I'm very honored to be a part of it.
Well, we've covered 2 things that you do. One, your paid job, the ARC, and now heading up the poker run.
Yeah.
You're also on our board of directors, and we're pleased to have you on there, coming on for the first year of your term.
That is such an honor.
And I believe you're involved in several other organizations.
I'm involved in a few. I'm involved in Impact 100, which actually it's grant time with them.
Right.
We were amazed to end up hitting the 500 member mark, so we will be giving out
Congratulations.
Isn't that amazing?
It is.
Pensacola's is the biggest in the world, and they have 1,000, and in just the 4 short years, that this impact has been in, we're halfway there. So I think that's impressive, speaks so much of the women of our community. And they've done great things, but yes, they are in the middle of grants. So we'll be giving out 5 $102,000 grants, and I would urge all of you ladies, you want to be involved in something amazing, Impact is a great one. They really do make an impact.
Awesome. I know my wife's been involved with that, and she's on one of the grant committees, so it's pretty exciting whenever the announcement came out that broke the 500 mark.
It is, and they really do make such a huge difference in the community. They, charities for the Arc of the Emerald Coast, we won in 2014, and they built our pool at our aquatic center for persons with disabilities. There wasn't one in the entire region, from Pensacola to Tallahassee, and so thanks to the Ladies of Impact, we did that. And it is a way to be really involved and to learn so much about the community, because there's so many great nonprofits out there.
Well, Donna, I think our time is about up, so I thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us today and share some of your passions.
Thank you.
And give us a little peek into the Emerald Coast Poker Run.
Yes, everybody join up, sign up. There's a locals discount going July 1st, July 15th. We're knocking $100 off if you are a local resident, so it's a good time to sign up.
All right, very good. And with that, we're going to sign off. This is Nick Chubb, your 2018 Chair of the Board, and Donna Tashik, the Arc of the Emerald Coast. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to the Greater Fort Walton Beach Chamber of Commerce Business Forum. I'm Nick Chubb, your host. I'm the 2018 Chairman of the Board and owner of Cabinets R Us. With me today, I have David Presnell, who is chair of our RPM committee and owner of Painting with a Twist. David, thank you for joining us.
My pleasure. Thanks for the invitation.
Let's start off with telling folks a little bit about Painting with a Twist. Let's get the business side of you out of the way.
Okay, Painting with a Twist is a fun and different night out, and we provide professional instruction for you to come in and learn how to paint a painting. It's relaxing, it's fun. You can do it by yourself, you can do it with your friends. At one of our public open classes that's on our calendar, you can come for a private party if you choose. You get to choose your own painting, choose your instructor, make a big fun night out of it, make it as fancy as you want. And we're BYOB, so you get to bring whatever you want to drink, beer, wine, moonshine, whatever's your fancy, and whatever you want to eat too, for that matter. We got room for people to sit down and enjoy each other before class, during class, after class, outside of the painting painting part too. So it's just a fun, cool, different thing to do.
How long does one of these classes typically run?
They usually are 2 hours for the most part. Some last 3 hours, but you're in and out in within 2 to 3 hours.
That sounds a lot of fun. I know a lot of people that have done it. A lot of chamber members have been there. Recently had a party for one of our lifetime directors.
Lisa Joe.
Lisa Joe,
Right.
exactly. And I know people just have a ball when they do it.
Yeah,
So
fun.
if you haven't been out to Painting with a Twist, or you don't know anybody that's been there, check it out. So
There we go.
that's the plug for Painting with a
Couldn't have
Twist.
said it better myself.
Well, good. David, I'm pleased to have you as one of our chairs this year over one of our most aggressive and involved committees, RPM. So tell everybody a little bit about RPM and some of the things you have planned this year.
Yeah, our RPM stands for Referral Partners and Marketing. So what it is that we do is that it's a group of anywhere in the meeting from 12 to 25 people come to the meetings, and we work on our networking techniques. It's more or less a training ground to become a networking warrior, to go to these meetings like First Friday Coffee and Nothing But Networking, which are just tremendous opportunities with, hundreds of people in front of you, where you can get the best out of your face-to-face experience with other people. And it's not so much about getting direct business from these people as it is getting business from their sphere of influence. So you, who knows, 500 to 600 people in your direct sphere of influence, I want you to act as my part-time salesperson for me. And that's what we do in RPM, is we're looking out for each other and acting as each other's part-time salespeople. And I can say, because of RPM, I have the biggest sales force in Fort Walton Beach.
How does this compare to like a business lead sharing group?
Well, business leads are nice because you can say, hey, I know Nick, give him a call. With referral partners and marketing, you actually know the person that you are referring, you know the person that is being referred to, and you put those two together because each of the sides of the equation know, like, and trust you. And what better formula to have to put two people together than to be that common denominator of people that know, like, and trust you. You can refer and be referred from people that know, like, and trust you, and you gain a lot because you've got that going for you going into the referral equation. People want to do business with people that they know, like, and trust, and that's the foundation that we work on at RPM, is to get that foundation built with the people in the room at RPM meetings.
So you also do things like work on the 30-second elevator speech,
Correct.
that type of
Correct.
quick introduction to get the most information about your business or what your ideal customer is across to the new person that you're
Right.
talking to at, say, a First Friday Coffee.
Right, because your introduction to someone at First Friday Coffee is going to be different than your introduction to someone at Nothing But Networking, is going to be different than your introduction to someone that you meet at Publix, and you need to know how to adjust your introductions to be the best for each situation. That's what we work on. You shouldn't have one 30-second elevator speech. You should have about 10 of them that you know how to put out in different situations. And that's part of being a networking warrior, and that's part of what we work on at RPM, is just how to adapt to these different situations.
This sounds like something that a lot of folks and a lot of companies pay for their employees to go to. Is there a cost for RPM?
Yeah, there is. It's an annual fee of $150. It's due.
Only $150?
It's only $150, and it's due in January, and it's for the calendar year. And there's our events that we do throughout the year that will justify this in itself.
For example?
Yeah, for example, coming up June 1st and 2nd is the Billy Bowlegs Pirate Festival. As a Chamber RPM member, we have an opportunity to have a booth at the Billy Bowlegs Festival for both days, Friday and Saturday, which I think at a minimum is about $250 to get in to have a booth at Billy Bowlegs. We're going to be there in the children's section with our carnival type games at the Billy Bowlegs Festival. And don't fool yourself, just because it's the children's section, those children got to come with their parents. And we had probably at least 600, 700 people come by our booth last year.
Wow.
And that is covered in your $150 membership fee to RPM. We host the first Friday coffee in July. It'll be July 13th. It'll be the second Friday in July because of the July 4th holiday. It'll be July 13th, which is Friday the 13th. But we're having the first Friday coffee then, and I think to sponsor the first Friday coffee, that's $2,000. So we're getting in to do that as a group for RPM. Then there's the business after hours that we're doing in October that
Always
RPM
fun.
is sponsored, which is always a good one. And we always have, that's what RPM is known for, is we have great door prizes. Great door
Right.
prizes are given away at any RPM function. So and business after hours is part of our deal too. So you get all of that for $150. It's a great,
Plus the education.
plus the education,
Plus the sales
plus
force.
the sales force, and we have guest speakers this coming year. We've got Barbara Britt, who's speaking to us about networking techniques. Different members of RPM provide different education segments. Charlotte Bergman with Cumulus Media has helped with that. RJ's helped with that tremendously with Emerald Coast TV. Broadcasting things out through Facebook and YouTube, and just a great bunch of people making things happen for each other.
Yeah. Personally, for my business, a couple years ago, I was involved in it when we did the little skit
Yeah.
at the boardwalk, and my cabinet won. I came dressed as a cabinet.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I still have that.
It's legend in the RPM history books. It's a legendary performance. They still talk about it today.
Well, it did wear on the shoulders.
I understand, but you're the man to handle it.
Thank you, sir. David, as we start wrapping this up, anything else you want the audience to know about RPM? When are your meetings?
Yeah, that's great. The meetings are third Tuesday of every month, and we have a business meeting on the second Wednesday of the month. The business meeting on the second Wednesday of the month is at 12 noon at the Chamber. You bring your own lunch. We talk about the different things that are coming up. And then the third Tuesday is the membership meeting. And it's a breakfast meeting. We supply coffee and orange juice, water. You bring your own breakfast that you want to bring. If you'd like to supply breakfast as a member, you can, and we'll give you 10, 15 minutes to talk about your business at the meeting as well. So third Tuesday starts at 8 a.m. and lasts till 9:15, and I make sure that we are out of there 9:15 on the dot. It's because we all are in business and our time is valuable.
Very good. So, to summarize, RPM is a networking opportunity that teaches members how to better network and expand their virtual sales force,
Yes.
while at the same time opening up opportunities for the average small business would not be able to afford in their marketing budget.
That's it exactly. Can I quote you on that?
You
Can I
may.
use that I'll use that for some descriptions that I'll use to
Perfect.
spread the RPM gospel to the Fort Walton Beach community.
All right. David, thank you for joining us today on this exciting segment about RPM.
Yes, it was.
And folks, thanks for joining us here at the Greater Fort Walton Beach Chamber Business Forum.